Hello, this is Mrs. Bobby, and we are looking at a review of some of the things that we might have struggled a little bit on our last test. So anybody who's tuning in from all across the United States, this is going to be on factoring exponents and a lot of different things with distributive property and getting standard form. So here we go. If we have an exponent of 7 to the third power, we have to take the base number of 7 and write it the exponent number of times. So this is a 7 times 7 times 7. Remember, it's a multiplication. So then we do our math. We get 49 times 7, which is 343. Now, standard form is another name for the word solve. Okay, so rewriting an expression in standard form. What this means is we have to use as few characters and as few symbols as possible. So we have to take all this and basically shove it together. So we're going to take our coefficients and we're going to multiply them. We're going to get 24. And then we're going to take our variables and we're going to just slap those on the end. No signs, no nothing, all multiplication going on here. We're going to do the same here. 2 times 3, which is 6. 6 times 5, which is 30. And we're going to put the 2 letters on the end. No other symbols, just shove it all together. The greatest common factor with use of distributive property. Greatest common factor. That is the biggest thing that they have in common. Okay, super important that you're looking at the greatest thing that they have in common. Might be a letter, could be a number. I always like to tell my students, think about what you can count by to land on these numbers. So this is kind of done in your head. What makes 3? 1 and 3. 1 times 3. What makes 9? 1 times 9, or 3 times 3. What is here? That is there. A 3. So that is what we are going to divide each piece by. So if I take a 3 out of here and a 3 out of this one, 3 goes into 3 one time with a W left over, and 3 goes into 9 3 times with a P left over, sign in the middle, addition. Let's look at that again. 30 and 24. 30 has 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. Then you ask yourself, can 24 work for any of those? Well, 1 works, but doesn't matter because it's not going to change anything, so none on those. 2 works, 15 does not. 3 works, 10 does not. 5 doesn't work, but 6 does. What's the biggest thing they have in common? Hence, greatest common factor would be 6. We're going to pull that out by division. How many 6s are in a 30? 5 with a G left over. And how many 6s are in 24? That would be 4 with a Y. A plus sign in between. Rewrite using distributive property. Now the problem with this piece is that most kids can get this piece. So we're taking the 3 and we're giving it to the W by means of multiplication. There is no sign. That means times. So 3 times W is 3W. 3 times Y. 3Y. What's the sign in the middle? A plus sign. 6 times 5. 30 with a P. Plus 6 times 7. 42 with a C. These are some of the areas that my students struggled with a little bit. Guaranteed, 6th grade level, definitely a little bit over some people's heads, but that's okay. That's why we have tutors, and that's why we have videos that we can rewatch to understand. And the only other thing is, remember when I said there is no sign, that means times? Same thing happens when a letter and a number are touching each other. When you have to write this in words, this is not 3F. It is 3 times f in words. Okay? And as always, this is Miss Spotty, and I love math. And Diet Coke.